No, because somebody go show up.
Come on over.
My name's here.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
You want to know who I am?
I call to order the Finance Committee meeting for Ascension Parish Council, November 10th, 2020. We're going to call on Councilman Orgeron to do an invocation and pledge at this time. Please stand.
Everybody, please prepare yourselves for prayer. Dear Lord in heaven, keep your hands above us, keep your eyes upon us, bring us into your heart, Lord, as we attempt to do the work for the people of Ascension Parish, your children, God. We know that you are with us, we know that you are guiding us, and we look forward to being with you forever and ever. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Councilman Orgeron.
Thank you.
Roll call, Madam Secretary. It looks like Councilman Robert, Councilman Lambert, Councilwoman Cazzo,
Melanson.
and Councilman Chase Melanson are not here. I haven't heard from any of them. They may be on their way. We have started a bit early. There will be no chairs additions. And for the public comment period, anyone wishing to speak on an agenda item, please get a card at the podium, present it to the secretary, and she'll get it to me so I can call on you to come to the podium. Moving on, item 5A, renewal of audit engagement contract for the 2020 audit. Jacob Wagersbach with Falk and Winkler. Welcome, Jacob. How you doing?
How are you?
I'll just clarify, this is a renewal for the audit contract. Okay.
John, I was going to make a motion.
Yeah, second.
Got a motion from Councilman Lawler.
Second.
Who? Mason. Second from Councilman Mason. Oh, these.
Way down here by myself, sorry.
Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Thank you,
you.
Jacob.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here. Moving along, item B. Ascension Economic Development to introduce Fire Project Erie, Westlake Vinyls Company for participation in the ITEP under the Post-Executive Order 2018 rules. Kate MacArthur, President and CEO of Ascension Economic Development. Welcome, Kate. How are you?
Good, thank you. So we have two projects tonight that are seeking participation in the industrial tax exemption program. The first one is Westlake Vinyls. They are considering a $450 million capital expansion of their chlorine, VCM, and PVC production at their facility in Geismar. This would create 5 new direct jobs and $300,000 in additional new payroll. They are competing internally with other Westlake facilities to get these investment dollars. Over the 30-year life, this project would generate $14 million in property taxes for the parish and $2.7 million in sales taxes during the construction period before operations. That would be a total of $16.7 million in direct tax revenue for the parish, and the incentive would be the 10-year, so 5-year renewable for another 5 at 80%, which is $11 million abatement through the ITEP program. They were supposed to go to the Board of Commerce and Industry in August, but because of the hurricane, it got delayed to October, and then we had another hurricane, which delayed the meeting until this Friday. So we're actually doing it a little bit early in anticipation that they will be approved at the Friday meeting. If for some reason they are not approved at the Friday Commerce and Industry Board meeting, we'll pull it from the Parish Council agenda. They have a lot of participation locally with the Capital Area United Way, PPE donations during the COVID pandemic to local hospitals, and they sponsor Wally Wise Guy Shelter in Place in the Ascension Parish schools, as well as donated gas detectors and calibration stations to the Ascension Sheriff Hazmat team. So they do try to be good community partners. And we have John Scroggins, who's the plant manager. He's here tonight. If there are any questions beyond what I can answer for you.
Gentlemen, any questions for Kate, or Chair would entertain a motion
make a
if
motion.
necessary?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Councilman Mason, second by Councilman Robert. Any discussion? Any objection? That motion passes. Thank you, Kate. Item C, Ascension Economic Development to introduce Project Pioneer, Veolia North America Regeneration Services for participation in the ITEP under the Post-Executive Order 2018 rules. Kate.
All right, so we have Veolia, which is exploring options to build a new 5,000 ton per year capacity facility at their Burnside site to produce a new chemical. They are in the same situation with the ITEP approval at the C&I board, which should have happened in August, which will go on Friday. The construction start date would be the first quarter of 2021 if this project is approved at their corporate level. The $20 million investment would generate $620,000 in property taxes for the parish and $120,000 in sales tax during the construction period, for a total of $740,000 in direct taxes. And the incentive under the program is a $480,000 abatement from property taxes over 10 years. It would create 5 new jobs, which would add to their 34 full-time employees that they have currently. They are also competing with another site in the south for this expansion project. They have 50 years of continuous and safe operations in Burnside and have won some safety awards. So
Motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second for approval. Any discussion? Any objection? That motion carries. Thank you, Kate.
thank you.
Thank you for making your presentations. We hope the industrial board passes these as well. Item D, approval to pay remaining balance of $39,936.48 on invoice 2948 with Crescent Multimedia Solutions for the sound system for the jury assembly room at the new courthouse. John Diaz.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, this is an agreement we have with the Clerk of Court's office to pay for half of the cost of the sound system in the jury room, which, as you're aware, during council meetings, it will actually be the council meeting. So our system will tie into this, and we just agree to pay half of the cost.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Lawler.
Second.
Who's that second?
The only one down here.
You wouldn't believe the echo that comes back from here.
so far away.
Second by Councilman Mason.
Island of
You are
misfit
so
toys
far
down here or
removed,
something.
young man. Do I hear any further discussion? Any objection? Councilman Robert.
Will this have karaoke?
It sure will.
Sir?
It will,
It will.
just for you.
Thank you.
Any objection? There being none, the motion carries. Item E, participation agreement with St. Bernard Parish Sheriff for housing of juveniles. It's a renewal of an agreement.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Ogeron,
Second.
second by Councilman Mason. Got you this time. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Item F, change order number 2, contract between Ascension Parish Government and Sienna Construction LLC for the Ascension Parish Jail Women's Dormitory
Motion.
renovation for an additional $14,934.54.
Second.
Motion by Councilman
Those are on.
Ogeron, second by Councilman Lawler. Any questions, any discussion? That motion carries. Moving along, item G. Change order number 3 to a contract between Ascension Parish Government and Sienna Construction LLC for the Ascension Parish Jail Women's Dormitory renovation for an additional $26,236.70 to provide material, labor, and install 4 hollow metal security windows and an additional 17 days. Dean Thomas.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Ogeron,
I'll second it, but
second by Councilman Wagasback. I have a question for you.
yeah, I was going to ask a question.
Just give us a little bit of an explanation, if you would, Dean.
All right, the outer wall, whenever we did the demo, there used to be a hallway. Well, once you did the demo, that opened it up to the outer hallway, and they had 4 aluminum vents in that wall, and that become a secure area, so therefore those vents were not up to code for security. So we had to remove those vents and purchase the security windows to put into place.
Okay. Any other questions? Madam Secretary, please note that Councilman Melanson is here,
That's okay, they look alike.
next to Councilman Lawler. All right, any other questions? Any objection? That motion carries. Okay, item H, change order number 1 to the master contract between Ascension Parish Government and ArcSmart LLC for the Lamar Dixon Expo Center Lake Solar Lighting repairs for an additional $13,380. Dean, please explain.
This is, we did the battery project, which basically replaced all the batteries. Once we replaced all the batteries, now we've come to find out that we have other issues, including one fixture that got knocked down and is no longer on site. We don't really know what happened to it. Somebody needed it worse than we did. So that's to replace that fixture and to replace some of the ballasts and some of the starters and the other ones that need replacing.
Okay.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Wagasback, second by Councilman Lawler. Any questions? Councilman Robert.
Are these lights located near power?
Near power? No, sir.
Okay.
No, that's why this is a solar project. It would have been very, very costly to put lights around the lake with
Okay.
power.
So what type of, like we've had to change them out on every one of them, or is this?
All the batteries,
All these
yeah, the batteries have a life cycle, and these particular batteries are no longer available, so we had to do a retrofit. And we have a maintenance fund that was set aside by the person that installed these lights. So we used that maintenance fund to replace the batteries, and we're also using that money for the replacement of the other stuff.
And do you have an idea of what the lifetime of these batteries are?
They're supposed to be 5 to 10 years guaranteed,
Okay,
and after that,
that's all I have, yeah.
yeah.
Any other questions? Any objection? Motion carries. Item I, substantial completion for Modeste Fire Station parking lot.
Second.
Who motioned?
Coach.
Coach. Coach?
Coach did.
Motion by Coach, second by Dow Wagasback. Any questions?
Question.
Coach?
Mr. Dean, I wanted to congratulate your crew. Y'all did a super job in Modeste, in the parking lot and the building in itself. And I talked with you maybe a couple of weeks ago about getting the ribbon cutting to get with Mr. President and
Yes,
see if his schedule is flexible to where he can get to the Modeste Fire Station and
I'll
be able
pass
to-
that on to Mr. McConnell to
Okay.
get with the president to set that up.
Yes, sir. Just wanted to
Mr.
make sure
President?
that get done to make sure that
Yeah.
he's in prison.
Me and Councilman Thomas had the opportunity to tour that facility, and they did an exceptional job, just like Councilman Thomas. So, yeah, we'll be excited to have, all of our council members present for a good ribbon cutting, because this deserved it. It was a great job done, and it's a nice facility.
Very good.
Thank you, Mr. Dean.
Thank y'all.
Okay. Do we vote on that yet?
Motion second.
Had a motion and a second.
Mhm.
Any objection? That motion carries. Item J, cooperative endeavor agreement between National Water Infrastructure LLC, formerly known as Ascension Sewer LLC, to supply certain sewage treatment services to Renaissance Treatment Plant to add an additional amount of $42,000 from July 2020 through December 2020, and a renewal amount of $84,000 for the 2021 year. Ken Dawson, welcome, Ken. How you doing?
Fine. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Committee. This is a change basically because of the purchase of NWI of AWT. We have a contract with AWT to provide sewer in a Renaissance area on Highway 73 because at the time we didn't have any sewer treatment capacity for that particular project, so that's what was done. So for one thing, this kind of takes care of the paperwork because we're receiving bills from NWI since NWI has purchased AWT that we have to pay. The numbers on here basically is a reflection of what accounting did. It's basically a not to exceed amount because what they did, they looked at the largest bill we got because we have a metered flow that goes into that particular treatment system. So the cost changes. So we took the largest amount and basically from July to the end of the year is what that $42,000 indicates, and the 84,000 is looking at all of 2021 at the largest amount of $7,000. So it's just paperwork.
I'd like to make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Malonzo, second by Councilman Mason. Any questions? Any objection? That motion carries. Thank you, Ken. Thank you for coming out. Item K, amendment number 2 to the master contract for professional services between All South Consulting Engineers and Ascension Parish Government to increase the total contract amount by an additional $150,000 to be added to task number 3 for COVID-19 response and future disasters.
Motion.
Total amount of the task order.
Second.
Okay, I've got a motion from Councilman Lawler, second from Councilman Robert. Any questions?
Just one. Okay.
Go ahead, Chase.
So is this for like the FEMA paperwork and all that stuff?
So this is for, we have 3 tasks that we have with All South. This is for task 3. Task 3 is for the COVID-19 response and for future disasters.
Okay.
So we're working both of those together because of all the storms that we've had this year. So this is going to add to that task.
I will say too, and you
Yes.
can clarify or support me on this if you would. Every time we have a disaster, we have to track man hours, we have to track equipment use, we have to track, literally everything that we do. And if we don't do it correctly, FEMA will laugh in your face. And a good example of that, and I hate to show a neighboring parish, but Livingston didn't do so well in 2016 during the flood. And they had lawsuit out there. It's still in court, I think,
Yes.
with litigation on that because they didn't document debris removal the way they should have. So we learned from some hard times, but now we're on top of it, and this is really what's helping us work the program and get reimbursed for what we should be reimbursed for. So I can't see any problem with it myself.
Oh no, I'm learning on the fly about FEMA and how difficult it is and how much
Paperwork.
money we actually come out of pocket just to pay people to keep track of the paperwork. So
Well, part of that's reimbursable as well,
It
is my
is.
understanding.
It is.
Yeah, 75% or so.
Yes, it
So-
is.
It's money well invested to keep us on our toes and keep FEMA on their toes. Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any other questions?
Got a question. I just want to,
Coach?
in terms of, we had the incident in Donaldsonville, and Miss Rachel called in and done a good job, and I want to congratulate you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you very much for the work that was put in
Thank
with,
you. I'm glad it worked out.
with the job that was done with the fire department.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Very good. And I think we can all say how wonderful we have it with the OEP we do have. We're very fortunate. Okay, I have a motion and a second. And any further questions? Any objections? That motion
Thank you.
carries. Thank you, Rachel. Item L, renewal of a master contract for temporary staffing for Disc Writer, Inc., total contract amount of $50,000. Sandra Barrera.
Sandra's not here, her mother passed away today.
Oh, goodness.
So, this is just a renewal contract for temp services.
Temp Services.
motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mason, second by Councilman Malonzo. Any questions? Any objection? That motion carries. Item M, renewal of master contract for temporary staffing service with Lofton Industrial Services, total contract amount $50,000.
Motion.
Same thing. Motion by
Second.
Councilman Robert, second by Councilman Malonzo. Any questions? Any objections? That motion carries. Item N, monthly contract report. Who's going to give that?
Y'all have the report that Sandra has. This is the contracts that have been issued this month, new ones or renewals.
Hold on, let me pull that up. Should be in your
It's in your
packet if you have it. If you don't, it's in Civic Clerk.
We have, it's in the packet.
Take a moment to look over those. A lot of these are renewals, I find.
Right, they're renewals, or they've, and if anything beyond that, they've gone through the RFP or RFQ process.
Yeah. A lot of them are engineering renewals for services that we use on an as-needed basis. The chair would entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Coach. No?
All been approved, so
Oh, I'm sorry.
they've all been executed.
Yeah, I was
I'm
gonna say-
sorry. That's my
It's just a
bad.
report.
That's just a report. Thank you. Financial reports, item 6. Revenue and expenditure report. Amanda?
Good evening. Before you are the financial reports for the month of September 2020, which reflects 75% of the year. Page 1 reflects all funds of the parish, broken down into the 5 categories, which is general fund, special revenue funds, debt service fund, enterprise and internal service funds, and capital project funds. It shows 2019 year-to-date actuals, 2020 year-to-date actuals, the budget for 2020, and the percent of budget remaining as of this time of the year. In comparing the 2019 year-to-date actual to the 2020 year-to-date actual for revenues for the month of September, there's a decrease in general fund by 53%. There's a decrease in special revenue funds by 4.62%. There's an increase in debt service funds by 19.02%. There's a decrease in enterprise and internal service funds by 17.45%. There's a decrease in capital project funds of 182.22%. And there's a decrease in all of the funds by 16.83%. In comparing the 2020 year-to-date budget for the month of September, total revenues for operating is at 72.81%. Total capital project funds are at 33.72%. Total revenues are at, of all funds are at 66.78% at 75% of the year. The funds highlighted in green are the funds under the budget for revenues by 5% or more, and on page 4, they have an explanation for those funds. On page 2 is a chart that compares 2019 and 2020 year-to-date actual revenues for the month of September. Page 3 is a chart that compares the 2020 budget to the 2020 actual for revenues for the month of September. And page 4 is the explanation of the funds under the budget, as mentioned for page 1. Page 5 is the expenditure report. This report is in the same format, except there's an extra column that reflects encumbrances, which are authorized obligations either in the form of a contract or a purchase order. In comparing 2019 year-to-date actual to 2020 year-to-date actual for expenditures for the month of September, general fund increased by 7.86%, special revenues decreased by 10.78%, debt service increased by 18.73%, enterprise internal service funds decreased by 0.53%, capital project funds increased by 41.23%, and the total of all funds increased by 6.4%. In comparing the 2020 year-to-date budget for the month of September, total revenues plus encumbrances for operating funds are at 63.68%. Total capital project funds are at 47.31%. Total expenditures plus encumbrances for all the funds are at 56.99%. And funds that are highlighted in green are over the budget for expenditures by 5% or more, and on page 8, there's an explanation for those funds. Page 6 is a chart comparing 2019 to 2020 year-to-date actual expenditures for the month of September. Page 7 is a chart comparing the 2020 budget for 2020 year-to-date actual expenditures plus encumbrances for the month of September. Page 8 is the explanation of funds that's over the budget by 5% or more for the funds that are highlighted on page 5 of the report. Page 9 is a report that reflects the cash and investment position of the parish as of September 2020 compared to September 2019 in total and by restricted and unrestricted. The total for September 2020 is $264,188,571, of which $234,472,962 is restricted and $29,715,609 is unrestricted. Compared to September of 2019, total of $280,501,402, with $251,874,130 being restricted and $28,627,273 unrestricted. At the bottom of the page is a chart comparing total restricted and unrestricted cash and investments for 2019 and 2020 as of September. And the report also reflects a breakdown between restricted and unrestricted for 2020 and gives a listing of the funds associated with each. And on the last page of the report, page 10, is a pie chart showing each and the percent of total cash. If you have any questions, once you review it, I'll be happy to answer.
Any questions, gentlemen? Okay, very good. Thank you, Amanda. Appreciate your report. Moving on to agenda item number 7, bid quote items to accept the lowest responsive bid quote as follows. Cynthia, please come to the podium. Purchasing Director. Item A, SAF coat infield top dressing, Greenpoint AG, $148.75 per ton. Ewing Irrigation Products, $148.75 per ton.
On October 13, 2020, the Purchasing Department received 2 bids for the SAF coat infield top dressing. After review, the Purchasing and Recreation Departments recommend alternating orders to responsive bids submitted by Greenpoint AG and Ewing Irrigation Products. Both companies submitted identical pricing and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this material.
Motion.
Second.
Who gave the motion? Motion by Councilman Malonzo, second by Councilman Lawler. Any questions? Any objection? That carries. Item B, blinker sign, LED stop sign R1, and anti-vandal mounting kit. K&K Systems, Inc., $920 each.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Malonzo, second by Councilman Mason. Any objection? That motion
I just have a
carries.
quick question on that. Is that for a single one of those?
3 to 10 units annually, I think it says.
Okay,
Yeah, it's by
but I
six.
mean, that's
each.
the price each,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
It's a package deal, yeah.
I do have
Item
one
C.
question. Curiosity, have we ever got a price on the speed limit signs that display the radar?
I don't know if
I know we talked about that
Somebody
in
has 'em.
transportation.
Yeah, we've talked about it in the transportation.
They're really,
we do.
Joey
Very
said they were
expensive.
like,
They're as much
Very,
as
very
the,
expensive.
7,500, I think.
7,500?
plus you gotta keep the solar panel up.
Yeah.
Sorry, well, I'm
update
sorry,
you.
that was a side, but that,
Okay.
I'm just curious.
Item C, 2020 80-foot articulating boom lift, All Access LLC, $125,600.
Evening,
Yeah.
Council. On October 7, 2020, the Purchasing Department received 3 bids for the 2020 80-foot articulating boom lift. After review, the Purchasing Department and the Department of Public Works recommends accepting the lowest responsive bid submitted by All Access LLC and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this equipment.
motion.
Second.
Who's that?
Thank you.
Motion by Councilman Wagisback, second by Councilman Mason. I have a question. Is this going to be just in recreation or in DPW?
DPW was the one
Okay.
who actually put it in, but I'm pretty sure they will utilize it within the parish
Wherever
as
we had
needed.
to. Okay. Any questions? Any objection? That motion carries. Ascension Parish, Ascension Parish Government Bridge Load Ratings, All System Bridges, RFP, project number BG-2020-01, Huval and Associates. Cynthia?
On August 27th, the purchasing department received 10 proposals for the bridge load ratings of system bridges. After careful review, the non-engineering and engineering selection committee members recommend selecting the highest scoring respondent as Huval and Associates Incorporated. Also, per recommendation, to authorize the parish president to begin contract negotiations for this service.
Any questions? Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mason. Second by Councilman Lawler. Any questions?
No.
Any objection? That motion carries. Item E, disaster debris monitoring, natural disaster RFP, Thompson Consulting Services.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Melanson,
Second.
second by Councilman Mason. Any questions? Any objection? Motion carries. Item F, polyvinyl chloride, PVC sewer/drainage pipe, Coburn Supply.
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Dial Wagaspack, second by Councilman Melanson. Any discussion? Any objection? That motion carries. Item G, Seabro Road Safety Widening, Bluff Road, Louisiana Highway 28 to LA 73, Command Construction LLC for $2,389,000.
Second.
That's a misprint there. It's got to be, right?
For which one?
And 89 cents. Anyway, we'll correct that.
Yeah.
I got a motion from
Right here.
From Aaron.
Councilman Lawler,
Second.
second by Councilman Melanson. Any questions? Any objection? That carries.
I'm glad to see you getting done. It needs it.
Item H, Henry Road at Highway 930 Roundabout, McGee Excavation
Motion.
and Development.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Melanson, second by Councilman Lawler.
Fun
Any-
fact, DOTD rated this the worst intersection in the parish in 2011.
Not for long.
Hopefully this will remedy a lot of that.
I hope so.
Any questions? Any objection? That motion carries. Item I, Donaldsonville MCC Filter Plant Electrical System Upgrade, project number PM 20-08-001, Doyle Electric, Inc., $226,000.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Coach, second by Councilman Melanson. Any discussion? Any questions? Any objections? That motion carries. Item J, reinforced concrete pipe and arched pipe Capital Concrete Products.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Melanson, second by Councilman Wagaspack. Any questions? Any objections? That carries. All right, where are we? Item K, corrugated polyethylene pipe, tees, and fittings, core and main.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman
Mason.
Mason,
Second.
second by Councilman Wagaspack. Any objections? Any questions? Any objections? There being none, that motion carries. Item L, shaving screen cottonwood or white pine shavings, S&S Forms, $4.50 per bale.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Wagaspack.
Second.
Second by Councilman Mason. Any questions? Any objections? That carries. Item M, pump sand and river silt combined, Rennie's Industrial.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Robert,
Second.
second by Councilman Turner. Any questions? Any objections? That motion carries. 3M Street Road Name Signs, Traffic Control Products of Louisiana.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Melanson,
Second.
second by Councilman Mason. Any questions? Any objections? That motion carries. Item O, limestone bid, 57 gray and number 610 gray. Operating
Motion.
Material.
Second.
Renee Industry. Motion by Councilman Melanson. I mean, who did?
Is Dow.
It was me. It was the same time.
Motion by
It's fine.
Councilman Mason, second by Councilman Wagaspack. Any question? Any objection? That motion carries.
I bet you shorten that agenda up next time.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Councilman Mason.
Second.
Second by Councilman Wagaspack. Gentlemen, thank you. We are adjourned.